Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first video of 2020. How weird does that sound, even just saying that out loud? But today I feel like I need to give you a massive disclaimer. This is definitely going to be one of those really standard cliche new year new me videos, because do you know what, I'm owning my truth and I feel like it's needed. I definitely need to change some things in the new year, just kind of get out with the old, in with the new, and just kind of focus on a few things I just would rather be better or different in this year. I kind of feel like I need to take ownership, and there's a few things I've noted down that I just thought would be worth sharing with you, because I know me personally, I'm really influenced by other people, and I find it really motivating if someone does these types of videos. I'm like, yes, I want to do that as well. So anyway, I thought it'd be really worthwhile just sharing my 2020 goals, and I'm not going to lie, this is definitely not where they're noted down because I've got them on a sheet of A4 but it just looks better showing the book in the thumbnail, doesn't it? Anyway, Insta versus reality. I just wanted to share with you some of my goals for this year. I do think last year I kind of lost my way a little bit. I'm not going to try and cover that up in any way. I definitely feel like I hit a bit of a slump. I took a real knock to my confidence. There was something that just didn't quite sit right with me, but I do feel like the whole January start of a new year definitely puts me in the right frame of mind, and I just want to keep with that kind of momentum, note down some things I really want to achieve this year, and even if they don't come to fruition, I know the fact that I'm even focusing on something is a good thing. So yeah, anyway, I have noted things down. I've got some ideas here, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, if I don't achieve them in this year, it's not the biggest deal, but following the secret always says to put things out to the world and the universe will reward you back and allow these things to manifest. So essentially that is what I'm doing in this video. I'm just putting it out to the world that these are the things I would like to change or improve on or start, or just, you know, various different goals that I really want to just focus on in this year, and hopefully I can sit back and watch this in December 2020 and feel like I've achieved at least some of them. But if you're new to my channel, then you'll not know me. So my name is Ash and I have got 2 kids. I live at home with my husband and I make lots of different videos over here. Hopefully more than last year anyway, but I definitely have a whole variety of content that you might be interested in, and if you choose to subscribe to my channel I would absolutely love it and it'd be nice to have you around. So in my A4 sheet of paper, which is totally professional of course, I have listed down various different ideas in categories. Initially I just jotted these all down and then I split them into like more manageable groups, which I think is a really good way to start if you're trying to find a place to begin and get your own goals. So these are all split into either work, personal, family or home ideas, and they are only the one page, but it's just easier to hold several together. So I think what I'll do is I'll start off with my work little side here, because that is obviously like one of the most important things. So the first thing I am going to do is set myself working hours. Now before, if you followed me from the beginning, my kids were a lot younger and both of them used to nap for 3 hours a day. Honestly, I'd absolutely won a watch with the 2 of them when they were younger. They were very good nappers. They would go to bed at 7:30. I had a lot of free time. Looking back on it, definitely more free time than what I have right now. So I was able to like reply to comments, like every single comment got a reply. I was able to make all my videos in time. I was able to edit in time, no stress. Like it was very easy to manage because we had like our set structure to the day. The kids would go to bed at say 1 o'clock for 3 hours in the afternoon, and then they would get back up again, have dinner, do the usual stuff with the family, and they would go back down again at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then after that I would then start doing all my editing, and sometimes would stay up till like 3 in the morning getting things done, but I just don't have the energy these days. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or maybe I was just used to being up with them at a young age, like during the night sometimes, but I definitely need that drive back. So I think if you're self-employed or you do any kind of freelance work, you will totally get me when I say that your time is definitely not your own. And I do think, like, not in a bad way, but other people maybe don't appreciate that you actually have got things to do. And that sounds like such a dig, but I don't mean it like that. I'm also terrible for saying no. I always agree to plans that I probably shouldn't be doing because I have actually got content to make, videos to do, like, you know, it's all kind of part of the bigger picture. So setting some working hours I definitely think would help with that. So obviously the kids are going to both be in nursery at the same time next year. They're going to be in on 2 days of the week at the same time, so there's 3 hours that I've got twice a week, so that's 6, and then they can go to their beds at proper times. I've got the evenings, and then I also have, when they're opposite shifts at nursery, I've got one day where my mum will take them, so again I've got another 3 hours there. So like there's definitely scope for me to, in fact it's more than that, I've got like a full day that day, so there's definitely scope for me to have more time to create content, to not rush content, to think of different ideas. So setting some working hours is actually probably one of my #1 priorities in the work category this year. I don't really want to touch on this too much because it's very much early stages, but I will keep you in the loop. But this year we are definitely focusing on having a bit of a side hustle. We've got a kind of like online business that we're going to be creating really soon, and we're already in the process of doing that, so I'm really excited to share more on that when it comes. But I really have great hopes for it. It's something we both have a lot of passion for, and yeah, I don't want to dangle the carrot too much because I feel like that's a really annoying thing to say. It's like when someone puts something on Facebook like, I'm really upset, and people ask them why, and then they say DM me. Like that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I know you guys will be so excited as much as we are to know what it is, but yeah, I just feel like it's something I want to keep close to my chest just now, and then when it's all ready, you'll be the first to know. I've put down here that I want to refine my craft, and it's kind of the only way that I can describe what I mean, but I feel like I would like to learn more about video editing. I'd like to learn more about photos, photography, camera equipment. I'd like to really delve deep into that this year, and I don't think that I'll ever be able to make the most like cinematic, mind-blowing vlogs, and to be fair, I don't really think that's something you guys are interested in, particularly on my channel anyway, if you've tuned in for the raw day in the life stuff. But I do think that it would be nice to have the ability to maybe like change some of like the tone of the video, or like the filter, or even some of the transitional stuff, like the things that make it a bit more easy to view. I think for me, I always like try to think that I would like to watch something that was slightly like reality TV, like the Kardashians, The Only Way is Essex, where they have like the raw moment, but then the kind of transition between the clips of the raw moments are quite cinematic and, you know, just sort of like more film edited, put together. It just makes it feel a bit of an easier watch. So I feel like that is something I definitely want to delve deeper into, and remember that before I actually lift the camera to film, how that will then be on the other end when I'm editing it, if that makes sense. This is probably just all quite jargony to you if you're not really into what I do, but I feel like it would definitely benefit my channel, and it will also benefit the videos that you are watching as well. I would also like to be more productive with my time. I think that all kind of falls into like the setting the hours thing, but I feel like I would rather spend more time commenting back on Instagram to the comments you're leaving me than scrolling the feed on my own, if that makes sense. So I would like to be more productive with my time on my phone. I'd also like to make a lot more videos on cleaning and organisation and cooking, because when I make those videos, they tend to be my most viewed ones. Things like routines, morning routines, like tips to get ready fast, seem to be the kind of topics that most of you enjoy watching the most. Like the retention on those videos are the best. So I'd like to make more cleaning, cooking, recipe ideas, fussy eater ideas. I mean, my kids are both getting to the stage where they're quite good, but there's some things that they still won't try. So maybe things like getting them to try and eat a pepper, for example, like a bell pepper, ways that I could incorporate that into a meal without them realising, that kind of idea. So these are all the things that I'm thinking might be really good for content in the future. And then the next thing I was going to put into personal, but I feel like it could be business or like work related, but I'd like to try more products. I find myself watching a lot of videos that maybe are like testing out and giving first impressions on new beauty, skincare, home products, anything like that. So I recently watched a video on, I can't even remember, is it Fabulous by Hannah or Fabulous Hannah? Fab Han. She recently reviewed the Filter by Molly May Fake Tan, and I was glued to the video because I just wanted to see what it was like. And I feel like if I did more content similar to that, I think you'd also be interested. So I'd like to review more products. So if there's like a new hair tool that comes out, I'll try and get it straight away, try it and let you know if I think it's any good or not. I feel like we're all just the same. We're all just like friends looking for recommendations. So I would rather give like an honest opinion and review on things, but you can let me know if reviews are something you want to see, especially if it's like skin or if it's dupes. I love watching dupe videos. If someone finds something that is almost exactly the same as like a high-end product but just at a fraction of the price, I love watching videos like that. I find them completely fascinating. So that is all of the work goals that I have. Of course there would be things like hitting a certain amount of followers and all that kind of stuff, but realistically I would actually just like to get to a place where I'm making the content that I love again without worrying that people find it too samey. That's kind of where I'm at. So personal goals, I would like to go back 2 years ago to when I had a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I was essentially the most organised I think I've ever been. I definitely think as your kids get older you get really lazy, like it just happens. I don't know when it happened, I don't know why it happened, but it just did. When the kids are really young you have to be organised to keep on top of your like daily routine. So when they get older and they can start to do more for themselves, I'm definitely not as much in a routine as what I would like to be, because I know that they can cope without me being in that routine, if that makes sense. So having that kind of set times for naps, set times for feeds, set times for meals, set times for nursery. When you don't have that routine and structure, you're kind of forced into a limbo that you have to create your own routine, and I didn't really do that. And I feel like I was definitely more organised when Charlie was newborn and Ella was like, you know, coming up for 2 than what I am right now. So I'd like to get more organised, and I think there are things I could do like daily planners, daily routines, cleaning routines. You know, I used to clean my bathrooms like twice a week on a Sunday and a Wednesday. I would always make sure they were always done, things like that. I really would like to have like a chores list that I try to stick to try and manage the load. This is probably the most cliche New Year resolution that you'll hear, and it's to get fitter. I'm not even talking about the weight thing, because I have put on weight. I feel like I've put on a lot of weight since my wedding, probably about 2 stone actually. But I would like to get fitter. I actually do love going to classes. I love going to the gym. I'm only 27, like I know that's not really young, but it's certainly not at the stage where I feel like my physical fitness should be suffering. But I think I sometimes need to remember that because I've had 2 kids as well, my body clock might be different to my actual like physical age. So I would like to get to a stage where I was fitter and doing more exercise. But I've got that sorted because this month I am going to be doing a challenge 30 where I have to complete certain exercises every day, and I'm really hoping by the end of that there will be like a big result. So stay tuned over my Instagram, because I'm going to take a picture tomorrow, which I'm dreading, and then take a picture at the end of my 30 days and see how much like my shape has changed, how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling physically fitter. But my absolute goal by the end of this year is to be able to run. And I don't know if you remember, the tail end of last year I started doing couch to 5k and ended up giving up because it's like the saddest story ever. It's such a pathetic excuse, but I fell outside my mum's house and hit my knee off the edge of the curbside and took a massive chunk out of my knee. Like I really probably should have went and got stitches because it's still not properly healed, but every time I went to put pressure on that leg it was so sore, and then the kind of wound kept splitting, so I couldn't even straighten my leg properly. I couldn't kneel, and I certainly couldn't run and move my leg like in that direction. There's no way I could like bend my knee. So I then stopped doing the couch to 5k, which is annoying because I was on week 3 and actually feeling like I was getting better at it. So yeah, I would really like this year to be able to run 5k kind of comfortably by the end of the year. The couch to 5k app gives you 9 weeks to be able to do that, so I'm sure there's 9 weeks within this year that I will be able to focus on that at some point, most definitely, especially before my holidays, because I want to feel fit and healthy and happy like in my own figure. And I suppose these things kind of tie in with confidence, but I honestly feel like my confidence took the biggest knock last year. I don't really know when it happened. I would say probably March time. I feel like since then my confidence just totally took a nosedive right through the end of the year. I actually feel like I could get upset about it, to be honest, which is pathetic, but I honestly feel like my confidence just really took a beating last year. I feel like that's the reason why I've done less videos. I feel like that's the reason why I stopped producing the content that I like doing, because my confidence was really quite fragile. It's the best way to describe it. I feel like I was putting myself out there instead of just sharing my journey and sharing my story and sharing a video. I felt like I was putting myself out there just to be criticised and judged, which to be honest is by like a tiny small minority of people, but it's always like the tiny small minority that are the loudest, unfortunately. But I've got myself in a place now where I feel like I can rationalise that, and it doesn't affect me quite the same. But I definitely think that because a few things that maybe were being said were getting true, like weight, I was putting on weight, things didn't fit me nicely, I was looking and agreeing. I was like, do you know what, that's actually true, this doesn't fit me nicely and this is too small for me. Like, I then started eating to like mask that pain, if that makes sense. It's too dramatic to say pain, but essentially I would like eat as like an escape, which really is quite damaging when I think about it. But I know what I'm doing wrong, and I know what I need to do to fix it. But sometimes when you're stuck there, it's so hard to get that push to just do it. But I do think my confidence would definitely peak more and hopefully get back to the where I was, because at the wedding I felt the most confident that I ever kind of did, and that was over a year ago, 2 years ago in March. So I would like to get back to that stage of feeling confident, happy in the content I'm making, confident in myself, and just a bit more secure in my own like personality. I don't know, I think if someone says something often enough you start to believe it, and that was certainly how I felt last year, which is why I subliminally and very consciously at the same time took a break from uploading as much, saying as much. I wouldn't really speak that much last year, which is definitely not the way I want to go forward. So going forward, I want to get my confidence back up. I want to feel more happy and secure in myself and not allow like other people's opinions to become like my truth, if that makes any sense. Okay, so we're on to the next topic, which is family. So the first thing that I want to put out there to hopefully come true, I mean this would literally be like a dream, but it's certainly something that with like a bit of care and money management and time management we might be able to do next year. We go on holiday in March. We don't go in March, we go in May, but I would really, in fact, is it May? I'm pretty sure it's June whenever we go on holiday, and yeah, it's June, I'm pretty sure it's June, God I can't remember. We go on holiday this year for a week, and we are only going for a week, so usually we would go away for 2 weeks or 10 days, and I feel like the money we will save from going away for the 1 week, kind of more towards the start of the year or middle of the year, we'll also be able to save a bit of money and hopefully, fingers crossed, book a trip to Lapland. My kids honestly loved Christmas this year. They absolutely just adored it. They were so caught up in the magic. Everything was just really amazing. It's the best they've ever behaved. They were just like a dream, really like a dream. And I just kept saying to Fraser, could you imagine we went and took them to Lapland? We would have the absolute best time, but it's also really expensive, and I do think it's something that is on our bucket list, and I think that we should really try everything we can do, like try and save money somewhere to make sure we make that trip. So that is definitely a goal for next year, is to book Lapland and take the kids to see Santa. Another thing I'd like to do is to plan our weekends a bit better. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes unless there's like a real plan that's been, you know, in the making for a few months, like you've got a show or you've got a party or something like that, I would just really like to look at an overview of our month, see what weekends that we're free, that we've not got any plans, and actually plan to do things. And it doesn't need to be anything expensive, but this kind of coincides with another one of my goals for this year, family wise, is to see more of Scotland. We live in one of the most beautiful countries there is. Like, Scotland is so stunning, the views that you can see. I know that sounds like a really old woman thing to say, and I feel like I'm honestly coming across like I am David Attenborough, but Scotland has the most amazing places for day trips. See if it's literally we go in the car, we pack some food, we go a drive, we go a wander, we take the dog, we go a walk, we get some snacks, and then we come home again. Or even if we go somewhere further afield and get, you know, like a Holiday Inn to stay in, or just some kind of local B&B. I would like to do more travel with the kids and show them more of Scotland, especially at this age where they are able to be with us all the time. I don't want to wait until they're teenagers and they don't want to hang out with us anymore, but I think doing things like that and having really, really good family memories are the things that you'll always look back on as they get older and as they grow up as well. So I think planning my weekends is definitely something I want to do more of, even if it's just with us or if it's with like my family, or if it's with friends as well. I would like to do more and see more of kind of what's on our doorstep. And on that note, I actually want to spend more time with family we try our hardest. We have got 5 children between my brother and we try our hardest to spend time together where we can. Kids have got clubs, which definitely dictates a lot of your weekend time, but there are opportunities for us to spend more time together, and I'd like to spend more time with the kids together because your cousins are like your best friends, and I would really love the kids to spend even more time with them. So it's definitely a goal of mine to just say, you know, on a Sunday, if we're not doing anything, why do we not just get up, we'll go a walk. We used to do this all the time when we were younger, but we should get back into doing that now. So I've said to everyone we should definitely try and have more like Sunday brunches at each other's houses and go for walks and just enjoy being together. And this is a really bizarre one, but my last one for family is more just for like me and Fraz, it's not for the kids, but I want to watch all of the Harry Potters, like maybe one a week so that I can actually get through them. I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of every single Harry Potter film, but I've not seen them consecutively, just, you know, on a binge. So I would like to watch all of the Harry Potters this year at some point. I thought that was the last one, but there's one more for family, and that's to take more family pictures. I obviously take a lot of photos, like for Instagram, generally me and the kids, because that's kind of what my content is mostly about. But I would like to take more family photos. We were looking at some today from when we were younger, and of course we are better at taking pictures now from what we used to be, obviously when I was younger. But I want to have more family photos all together, the kids with their dad, me with Fraser, like, you know, just generally speaking, more family photos, even with my own parents, with my brother. I think the last picture I got with my brother was my wedding day. Like, it's just one of those things, you just get caught up in the moment, but I think we should make more of an effort to try and capture as many of the in the moment moments on camera. Right, so we're on to the home stuff, and this is the stuff that makes me really excited because I love home interiors, I love changing the house. If you're new and you're still stuck around for this really long video, then I moved into this house October 2018, and since then we've obviously had to do a lot of decorating more than anything, not really so much renovation because it was new build. So every wall was white. We've tried to like wallpaper, we've tried to decorate, put up pictures, we've changed a lot of the rooms. You know, we've just tried to make it our own and put our own stamp on it, but there are a few rooms that we've not managed to really finish or start at all. So the first thing that I want to do is something that I highly regret doing in the first place, and not because it's not a nice paper, because it's a stunning paper, but it just occurred to me our living room's too dark for a dark wallpaper. I absolutely love our mural wall at the back. It's like, so with that being said, I want to change the wallpaper in the living room, which is such a waste of money. Like, we obviously paid for that to get done, so it is a lot of money that we've wasted, but I do definitely feel like we'll benefit from having that kind of lighter, airier space again, especially when we spend so much time in there. So I want to take that down and put a lighter paper back up. And then once I finish righting my wrongs, I would like to do the hallway. So my plan, I've got two kind of plans for the hallway. I either would really like the brick slips that are like the really small, you know, what do they even call it? It's like mosaic brick, but they're all sort of different sizes, really thin. I'd like that going up the wall on the left hand side of the stairs all the way, and then all the way around our room, but would kind of look like a brick wall in the hallway. Second idea is to mirror that wall instead, so have lots of different sizes of mirrored tiles going up that wall. And my third idea is to panel it. This is the cheapest option, would be to panel that wall. So Victorian paneling going up that wall, painted with some like wall sconces, like lights coming out from the wall all the way up, and then paper or paint around the doors upstairs, because there's not a lot of wall space. We probably would just paint it. So that is the second plan for the house. The third plan for the house is the downstairs toilet, because if you've seen my downstairs like WC, it's just a sink and a toilet, but it's such a massive space and it's white. For a downstairs toilet, of course, it's like a big space, but it's really basic, like really basic. It's just a toilet and a sink that I would never have picked. Toilet's standard toilet. There's a normal radiator in there. I'd like to change that to like a towel rail one, and I'd also like to put in some different lighting, a different sink, and then make it either brick slipped at the back, which is these kind of like fascia bricks that you stick onto your wall. I'd either like to do that or paper it. So I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but the downstairs toilet is something I'd be really excited to show you, and I would definitely do like a before and after like mini makeover on my channel as a separate video as well. And then the other thing I'd like to do is in the kitchen diner. So the kitchen's fine, but it is the dining room with the table that sits across from that. We have got our big rug, which was kind of one of the things that blew the budget for that, because we spent quite a lot of money on this rug. So we've got the rug, we've got the table, we've got the chairs, but the other two things I'd like to get done in there are the lights. We've still got like a bald like bulb with no light shade on it, so I would like to move that light to directly above the table, but we split it into two, so I've got two dangling pendant lights. Not sure exactly what lights I'm going to get yet. I've kind of seen a few ideas, but I'd like to get them quite low hanging above the table. And then the other idea would be to get the bench made. I've been talking about this since last year, but I would ideally like to get a dining booth, the way you would get in a restaurant, kind of black probably, or like charcoal. It would need to be black actually, because we've got black chairs. Black velvet upholstered button backed big kind of dining booth right against the wall, table, two chairs, two lights. That's the plan for the dining room, but it is something we would like to do soon. Everything's cash dependent though, so we really just need to wait and see, because we'll have to get the bench made. But there's a few places on eBay that I've seen that look pretty good for that, so we'll wait and see. But I also have a guy who does upholstering as well, made the sofa for us. So between him and eBay, we'll just need to wait and see who's got the right price. And then the last goal, but probably the most boring one, and probably the one that I will put off until the very end of the year, is to organise the garage. We have got lots of bits of absolute rubbish in that garage, but we need to get it sorted. We've got like, you know, big bits of gyprock sheets, we've got that in there. We've got pieces of skirting board in there because we kind of like converted half of the garage into a playroom. We've also got pieces of like insulating, like just lots of absolute junk in there. It is slightly organised, but I would like to have less in there, so I could literally just open the door, put in the bike. I'd like to just have it as like a storage space. So I would like to get, you know, the big massive IKEA storage units. I'd like to get the kind of scaffolding type units for in there. So that is definitely a plan for this year. I'd love to do that. So yeah, that is my last and probably most boring goal of all. I hope you've enjoyed watching my goals video. I would love to hear some of yours. I think mine are pretty much like standard cliche goals, but I would love to hear some of yours if you've got some different ones that, you know, you think are quite inspiring for other people. And if you've watched this video and you do feel inspired to have some goals for this year, I would love to hear what are the ones you think are the most interesting. And if you're new to my channel and you've made it to the end, then I would love you to hit subscribe and follow me over on Instagram as well, because I'm on there every day posting stories and posting pictures on my feed as well. So have a lovely day, have a great 2020, and I will see you guys in my next video on Sunday, because my video upload schedule is now Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, so we're sticking to that. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks guys, bye.